Hello, 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 and welcome to another stream of Thrashing Code. As you may notice, I am... Jesus Christ. It's Willowy, Windowsy, Whispy Wednesday. Forget what I named the show. Anyway, running Windows today. Not that you can even tell because I'm using Streamyard, but we're going to talk about that and some other things shortly here. Namely, I'm going to set up OBS because OBS gives me better interaction. I can see the chat. Chat goes on the screen, etc. Gives me some of those capabilities that StreamYard does not quite handle so well, even though StreamYard is very nice for a lot of things. The one thing I really miss and need from it is chat on screen here and alerts and all that stuff. You know, I want those capabilities that Stream Elements provide me in OBS. So we're going to hook that up today. Right now I'm having a Windows problem already. I'll share it with you. I have tried to use the camera on my computer, on the laptop, this new laptop, which I posted a video about recently. Link somewhere here for the YouTube viewers, VOD watchers. Anyway, so I'm trying to take this picture. You can see my goofy ass face there. But you can probably see that I can't do anything. I'm like clicking around. Okay, that did something. Okay, whatever, just close. Hello, Windows. What was that? I don't know what that was. That was called not working, I guess. Anyway, weird. So let's get in here and let's see if we can accomplish this. And I dare to even say this, but let's see if we can accomplish this without rebooting, because we're probably going to have to, because Windows. But let's see here. Okay, so this is OBS for those familiar with the streaming software. Let's give it a try. All right, so downloaded it, running the executable here. Gave me a little alert dialog to install. So, okay, so the installer's going. I don't really need the browser anymore, right? Right, theoretically. Next, install default location. Extracting a bunch of stuff. Okay. And I need to launch. OBS 20. Is this really safe? Can I do this now? Optimize for streaming, recording is secondary. Yes, that's what I want it set to. And then current, yes, I want that. Yep, using Twitch. I can connect my account. Oh, hold on. Oh, I don't want to do that just at the moment. Let's just, can I just post in my key? Oh, I guess I can. See, this is where I need a transition, and I don't have a transition shot because I haven't uploaded it to Stream Elements. Let's see if I can get this in 30 seconds, though. Here we go, countdown. Hey, look at that. I did it. I managed to pull that off in less than 30 seconds. Go and find the key. The new dashboard, by the way, Twitch, folks, if you ever watch this. is pretty good. I like the new dashboard. It's a little easier to find stuff in there. So it's doing this test the bandwidth. So yeah, I don't actually know how long that'll take. It seems to be making progress. Oh, it connected to Portland. Of course, Portland, does it have the fatter pipe? I don't know. That would be kind of ironic since I'm in Seattle. I know Seattle and Portland both have pretty fat pipes, so. Told me why I ate some food. Wait for this thing to install. Now San Francisco. What happened? What the fuck? Oops, French. My bad. Wait, I can't. I guess I'll try again. Maybe I need a two-factor this sucker and actually do the Yeah, let's do that. Oh, well, let me go back. So I guess there we go. So let's do connect account and then log into Twitch. Okay, so we're going to do another 30-second countdown and see if I can do this fast. Clearly, 30 seconds is not enough to log into the damn thing. So bear with me here. Oh, what the? Where's my Twitch account? Okay, I have it set up now. I'm ready to log in with Twitch. So let's see if I can pull it off in 30 seconds this time. Oh, okay. All I need is 10 more seconds because I'm waiting for my... Oh, there we go. Okay, 10 more. Boom. Okay. So needless to say, two-factor auth is kind of a mofo. But we're making progress now. So back to the window. Let's see if that makes it any better. Now watch, of course, this probably won't work either, but we'll see. We'll see. Come on, Twitch. Come on, OBS. You can do it. You can do this. Load. This may take a few minutes. I'm actually kind of surprised at this. I mean, I have a fiber connection that I know does gigs and gigs and gigs of bandwidth every day. So this is kind of redonkulous. Okay, so a gigabit, that's what it is. It's a gigabit per second, right? So whatever. All right, well, screw off then, whatever. I know I'm connected to the internet because we just downloaded this, right? That's annoying seeing that. Oh, you know what? Because I'm streaming to the channel, it can't connect to the... that's what it is. Anyway, so continuing. All right, so we have OBS installed. And here is the screen. Let's see if we can get some stuff set up, like display capture. Main display. Woohoo! We want to connect this one. That is the one we want to connect. So let's go with that. And then we want to set up a video capture device, I believe. Webcam. Oops, webcam. Hey, there's one of the webcams. Let's see if it'll let me double tag this one. Nope, nope, not at all. Not at all. All right, so let's go with the integrated one. You can see my bike trailer over there. It's kind of funny. All right, and I'm just gonna leave this and then resolution. Configure video. Oh, wow, okay. So this is kind of a weird one. All right, so I don't really need any of that. I'm just gonna leave this as it is. So that'll get that on there. Bounce it down into the corner like we do. And then also I want to make this bigger and then start virtual camera, whatever, studio mode. There we go. So now I can do that. And then let's see, let's add another scene. We'll start this one. It's going to be our intro. And then our outro. Intermission, or actually I'll just call this break. Y'all join to watch me set up OBS on Windows. The challenge is to set up OBS on Windows without rebooting. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. And the crazy thing is, hello, Frackberg. Hey, bald bearded builder. Well, you know, I don't say your nickname out loud very often, and it's kind of a tongue twister. Bald bearded builder, bearded builder, bearded builder. I can barely say it 3 times. Retro CRT, how are you doing? How is everybody? Greg Holmes, big shout out. Air sick mammal. Are you air sick? Do you need a bag? Puke bag? Ah. And thanks for following Bit O'Brien. Welcome to the Bosch Pit. I'm setting up OBS. Yeah, I don't like OBS. Don't like any OS 100%. Every OS sucks to some degree. Trust me. I run it on Linux. I've run it on Mac OS, and I've run it on Windows before. Mac OS, you have to do like iShow audio to get the native audio to work. Linux, you just have, well, there's just audio, whatever. You just call him Dad. That's hilarious. Paranoid Android It. That's an interesting nickname. But you look older. You get memory leaks? What? I've never gotten a memory leak on Mac OS. That's weird. What's the memory leak? Do you get an error when it crashes it? Like what's it do? I'm actually curious about that. Because Mac OS has definitely been, now I'll admit I have, where is it? Oh, see, I have this one. Okay, so this is the it's a pretty violent laptop. But it's a 16. It's the Mac Pro 16, right? So it's got 8 TB drive, 64 gigs of memory, dedicated video card, blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of badass. However, I was streaming with my 5-year-old MacBook Pro before this, and that one still works. I actually stream with it every once in a while. Not too often, but I do. So I don't know. Might have some hardware related conflagrations. The stream buffers for people when I get a Mac alert telling me all the apps that are using up memory. OBS is clearly the highest in memory usage. When I kill it and restart, it works fine. It didn't cost $12,000, chicken man. It costed $5,890 or something. You should screenshot it. I'm actually super curious about it. Oh yeah, 2019-ish 13-inch MacBook should handle it super easy. Yeah, that should be like no problem. There's something askew. Something is askew. Let's see, break section. So I did that. So y'all get to, I'm sharing some of my private space here too, my office. Instead of this 3D world that you see from the green screen, you can see some of my stuff. This is my bicycle trailer over here in the corner. Let's hear how to, oh shit, how do I do this? Fade to black. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Oh, fade to black, fade. Hey, that's a new, what am I doing? Oh, there we go. That's a new OBS feature, or maybe it's an OBS feature that's specifically on Windows. See, here's this is my laptop webcam. There's my bike trailer. That's my giant ass green screen. I can't talk. It's one of those days. How's everybody doing though? Seriously, how are you doing? Is it Friday? It's Wednesday. Shit. Yep, definitely one of those days for me. Got a gaming Windows laptop that I could stream on Windows or dual boot Ubuntu or something for streaming. Yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute. Because seriously, so I just showed you my Mac. I got an XPS 15 and an XPS 13 Dell, which I have Linux on. And okay, I lied. The Mac OS system is the one that actually does the most of the things that I do on one machine. So like I can do 98% of all my development because I don't really do C# and .NET stuff that requires Windows that much. Like a lot, if I do any C# or I do F#, it's cross-plat, right? So I can use Writer or I can use what's the Xamarin? I guess they renamed it Visual Studio for Mac, right? The Xamarin thing. So I can use that. I can use one of those things, or I can just go straight CLI and Visual Studio Code. So that basically gives me the ability to do 98% of all my coding on a Mac or a Linux box. Like I don't need Windows. The thing that Linux does not do, that is the biggest pain point for me, is it does not run a bulk of my highly invested in, I'll say, audio software. So I have drum software, MIDI software. I have Logic Pro X plugins. I have Logic Pro X, which is a Mac OS thing. And all that stuff runs on the Mac, only on the Mac. So it kind of has me stuck there. Nothing comes close to that stuff, right? And then, of course, the whole Adobe suite runs on there. I also use it. A lot of the video editing software I have also runs there. And also the Mac is really good at processing a lot of these things. I don't know why it's so good, but I've had like same proc speed. Mac kicks everything else's ass when it comes to like actually processing the video. So whatever it is, the Mac has become like the machine that does the bulk of the things that I do the best. It also does like 60, 70% of all the gaming that I do, which I'll admit is like God mode games, strategy games like Hearts of Iron 4, Cities Skylines, whatever it's called, Transport Fever 1, Transport Fever 2, that runs on Linux but doesn't run on Mac OS. But most of that stuff either runs on Linux or Mac OS. And most of it runs on Mac OS. So again, that leaves me planted there. Yes, gaming on a Mac. I do it all the time. It's actually really, the stuff that works really well. Like I don't have problems with it. And matter of fact, like So I just got a new machine, and I posted up on YouTube the unboxing and the first boot, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool machine. It's an Alienware, Dell Alienware machine. I forget the memory and everything on it exactly, but off the top of my head, it's a 4.5 gigahertz processor, Core i7, 10th gen processor. So pretty solid processor, not slow by any means, really. It's got a dedicated video card, 6 gigabytes. The Mac doesn't have a clock speed that's that fast, and doesn't have a video card. Actually, I think it is like an 8 gig, or is it a 6 gig? I don't know. I'd have to look, but it's not marketably faster, right? Or it shouldn't be marketably faster. Like the processor is slower and the video card might be a little bit more oomph. But whatever the case is, like I can run Hearts of Iron 4 and I can run another game. Like let's say I run 2 games, Transport Fever 2 or Transport Fever, and then I run Hearts of Iron 4, and then I decide for some stupid reason I'm going to watch a YouTube video. I can do that on a Mac. I can't do that on a Windows machine. Windows machine just dies. It just gives up the ghost. It is dead. It will crash. It will slog to nothingness. It will start locking up. It will get lag that is untenable. The Mac still runs through it. And Mac, even though I have seen like an increase of reboots and an increased behavior of things being flaky, I've definitely seen that over the years. Still nothing compared to like what Windows does for me. The only thing that seems more solid, honestly, and this is going to sound hilarious, but in my experience, true, Debian Linux. I run Ubuntu, no problems, no reboots, no arbitrary reboots, at least, you know. I had to reboot for an audio change and some weird tweak that I did recently. And that was the first reboot in like months of time. Go through installs, go through video editing, go through all sorts of stuff, photo editing, coding, blah, 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 compiling. I rebuild the kernel and don't have to reboot half the time. That you used to have to do that if you blinked funny, and Linux would make you reboot. So anyway, here we are on Windows. I'm getting OBS set up because I want OBS set up on every single platform that I use. And I'm using Windows right now because I am going to do some Windows specific programming. And I also want to be familiar with and maintain familiarity with the development environment setup, configuration, and all the little annoying knobs to twiddle and all that kind of stuff on Windows. Like I don't want to just be just the Mac programmer or just the Linux programmer. I want to be familiar with the systems across the board. Maybe because I'm obsessive, but also like I do a lot of work around producing material for programmers to get started on different platforms. And a lot of people still use Windows for whatever reason. You know, masochism or whatever. So on that note, how's everybody? How's everybody's Windows machine? Everybody dealing with the reboots, the updates being okay? Are they good for you? They working well for you? I would assume they are, because like everybody's running Windows, right? It's just I'm just the wacko with a Mac and a Linux machine, right? Oh God, you gonna start that propaganda shit again, C-Films? I price out any machine, Windows machine, emphasis on Windows machine, and it's going to be basically the same price. Matter of fact, when I got that MacBook Pro, that 16-inch MacBook Pro, I got one that was fully spec'd out. You literally could not buy that hardware configuration in a laptop from anybody. And even today, it's arguable and difficult to even get one that has memory clock speed that's at that level. It's hard to get one with a board that works as well with the processor and the graphics card. It's hard to get a machine, especially if you want a nice form factor that's easy to carry and use. It's even more difficult. So even when you find something that is close, like let's say an XPS 15, because that's why I got an XPS 15, right? I got one at the time that was fully spec'd out, as comparable as I could get to a Mac. Same damn price, within like $50. And when you know, when you're talking like 4,000 blah 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 dollars or 3,000 or whatever it was, it's not even worth comparing $50. When you're talking about $3,520, $3,570 is not a difference. Yeah, it doesn't make a cheap one. Yeah, you can't go out and buy a piece of shit $350 laptop from Apple. That's true. But then, of course, they don't even try to compete with that. So it's not even comparable. I mean, if you want to do development on a Windows machine, on like $350 Windows machine, sure, there you go. Locked in. Locked in with what? Every bit of open source development that has been done in the past like 10 years has all practically started on a POSIX system with a bunch of Mac heads in freaking California working on it. Like practically every Apache project. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. The point is what do you like? Well, what do you like? What can you afford? What gets you started faster? What gets you the outcome you want, right? If you feel like it's going to be more expensive for you, then great. Like I can buy a Mac, I can open it, and I can be programming in 10 minutes, right? I buy a Windows machine, I'm not programming anything in 10 minutes. Doesn't even come with like Python or a default language, right? Like you have to go install that shit. You have to find an IDE, or you have to figure out, like, I guess you could write it in Notepad. You could write something in Notepad and then install a compiler. But either way, I mean, you have to do all that stuff. With Linux, you get a bunch of stuff out of the box too. Like basically any base install is going to give you a bunch of languages. So I don't know. I don't really, I like using all the operating systems. They all have problems. They all have pluses. But you know, I don't really sit here and nitpick the pricing on them, because the other combinatory factor is, and maybe, okay, this is an American thing, maybe a European and an American thing. You're generally going to be paid enough to pick a laptop if you don't get to, if you're not handed one anyway. So if you're a programmer, you can go buy a damn laptop, right? You could pick which one, really. If you want to get a cheap one, you can get a cheaper one. If you want to get a more expensive one, you can usually get a more expensive one. Very rarely is there a situation where you can't go out and just pick a laptop that you want to get if you're a programmer. And yes, for those people that will argue, there are mitigating circumstances, but come on, seriously. It's a pretty decently paid job, even when you're like directly out of college and they're like, here's $80K in the middle of San Francisco. I mean, you're living with 10 other people then anyway. You'll be able to pick up a laptop, you know. I'm just saying there's solutions to get to do what you want to do. And there are ways to get there that they're not gonna kill you and they're not gonna starve you. That's the key, right? My invisible water bottle. Always fun. So with all that said, I'm very curious too. I didn't even ask. Listen to my trashy etiquette. I'm such a jackass. I'm going to talk about WSL 2. I have feelings about that now. As soon as I figure out which docs are right, it's so not whatever. Anyway, what was Bald Bearded Builder building? Oh, there's the quadruple B. Bald Bearded Bearder. Oh, shit. Bald bearded builder. Bald build. Shit. What? Okay, hold on. I'm going to use some of my French. What the fuck would Linux want Windows for? I mean, I'm not like, I don't mean that to be like aggressive toward anybody. I'm just honestly asking, like, if you're running Linux, why do you want to run Windows? Like, if you have your stuff running on Linux already, if you need Windows to run a Windows thing, but seriously, like, what even runs on Windows that, I mean, maybe you want to run SQL Server specifically on Windows, but it runs on Linux too now. So like you have a choice there. Yeah, I do not mean to be rude, but I don't know. Will be Linux. Well, then it's Linux. Then it's not Windows, right? And my next stream is going to be how to say bald bearded builder. Yes, that's a good one, Greg. I like that. I like that because I can't say it, his name very well. It'll just be another distro, but it won't be called Windows. If it's called Windows, it's just disingenuous. But then, of course, I wouldn't be surprised for Microsoft to produce something that's disingenuous. I mean, they are the one who's created a server called DevOps server. Like, what are they gonna have? A freedom server next? We're gonna have libertarian server. We're gonna have socialism server. Like what? We're gonna have the communicate with your peers server. They went to a Debian. Who went to Debian? That's what Mac did. Well, they used the Darwin core, right? I honestly, like the last time I actually spoke words to this person, Satya Nadella, and I haven't spoken many words to him because he's busy and a CEO and stuff, and I'm not. But yeah, socialism server, new Microsoft distro. But I jokingly prodded him. I was like, so why don't you just take Windows and like, rip out the innards and stick a core of like another open source maintained operating system in there, and then when Microsoft wouldn't have to deal with all that crap and they could just focus on that like fancy UI with all the whiz bangy buttons and stuff. And he was like, I might do that. I'm like, what? The CEO of Microsoft's not supposed to respond like that. That was when I knew that I was going to like the new Microsoft, though. And I do like the new Microsoft. They're pretty badass, especially compared to where we were in the, some before time. But yeah, C films, this is the thing. And this is why I'm doing something on every major OS, Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, right? I want to be supportive of whatever operating system you're on for whatever reason, whether you could just whimsically go out and buy one, like I said, okay, which, oh God, I'm just thinking about the Twitter. Somebody catches that and they're like, yeah, not everybody can fucking do that. Okay, yeah, I get it. But whatever the situation, you have an OS of some sort. If you're learning to program, you have to have an OS. That's just the breaks, right? So whatever it is, I want to be supportive of that and help put together demos or how-tos or whatever like that I'm learning. I want to provide that for whatever operating system, right? Easy peasy. Not a crazily big advanced thing. Let's see here. The oh yes, I didn't see anything. What was if you told me Microsoft would have thought. Yeah. Okay. Actually, we're just hanging out. I ain't gonna set up OBS. OBS can get set up later. Y'all don't need to see that. You've seen OBS. Plus, I got videos on my YouTube. Go watch my YouTube videos if you want to set up OBS. Let's chit chat about this. Because seriously, I'm still flipping out when hell froze over. Microsoft has done what? They've committed to the core. They've or the kernel. They've committed to the kernel, right? Actually, I like that little screen. Let's pop up that little screen here. Let's do this. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, and you can see my weird background. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about my cool Windows setup from Stardock. Yeah, because look at this. Does your Windows button look like that? Here, let me make it big so you can see it. Talk about two things. We'll talk about this in a minute, my crazy button, and then we'll talk about what the hell with Microsoft, right? Hey, Mr. Smoofy, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Bosch Pit. Love it. So let's see. I'm gonna close that. Let's open up Twitter. Right? Here's the Twitter app, the Windows Twitter app. Look at that theme applied to the Twitter app. Is that not cool? I mean, it might not be cool, but I don't care. I think it looks rad. And there, am I moving my active background desktop? I'm pretty sure that's from like Windows 98, right? Or Windows Me, maybe Windows 2000, like that active desktop thing. It's got to be part of that or something. But yeah. Okay. So there's that app, and then let's put up WSL2 because that's the badass, right? Or whatever. There's PowerShell, and there's WSL2. Echo. This is Lidox, sort of inside Windows. I printed stuff on the screen. Hey, how do you do it in PowerShell? Something like print to the screen now. Do this. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, yeah, that's it. Right. Host. This is running on Windows via PowerShell. Hey, we did it on both things now. On Linux on Windows and Windows on Windows. Echo works? Nah, really? Shit. And then they snagged Echo too. I just assumed they used some fancy long function for everything. Or write output, write host or write output. What's the difference between write host or write output? Woot. A nuclear work because I accidentally type it everything. Oh, they're just wait in PowerShell. They're aliases to whatever to the actual commands. Like in PowerShell, is it CLS? Is that yeah? See the DOS thing, right? And then dir. I'm sorry, I don't know why dir. Do a dir. In LS, is it still? Oh, look at there. LS-A. No, so there's no switches though, right? What about DOS? What is? How do you do? I don't remember how to do the DOS thing. See films. Thanks for jumping in the mosh pit. As soon as I get OBS running, you actually get to hear the badass metal that plays when you follow. So on the next stream, you have to unfollow and then follow again just to get the cool ass music. But you'll hear somebody else follow, and it's just cool. It dives in. It's kind of loud, but I made it that way because it's metal, right? It's an alias for Git. What? Curl is an alias. Is also an alias. Wait, what on DOS is equivalent to curl? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know dir is the abbreviation for that. I just think it's funny when you say it out loud. Do a dir. LS is kind of dumb actually, but I get it too. List service or whatever, list thing. There's definitely not one way to do it. There's a billion ways to do it. Invoke web request. Whoa, that's what I'm talking about. That's some Postgres stuff, PowerShell stuff, right? Web request. Look at that puppy. Yeah, it just goes right into it. That's pretty cool though. Look at this. Y'all are helping me learn some stuff. I didn't even know about that one. Oh, is tab completion in PowerShell by default? Let's check that out, huh? Involve web quest. Where'd my tab button go? What? What's happening? That's not what I want. Did it just start going? Oh, it's going through my directories. Well, I mean, either way, right? Yeah. Verb down. Yeah. The other thing is just blah for bash. Eventually, I'm going to learn bash. It's going to be badass. So, all right. So yeah, here we go. We got WSL and this. Now here's one of the things that's actually kind of bugging me about Windows, and I wish I could get I wish I could get the core of Windows to default back to just like the Windows 2000 theme, because what I have set up is this thing called Stardock, or no, it's called Object Desktop. Yeah, Object Desktop, and in there, this thing has a couple deals, couple things here, right? And that I have set up: Windows blinds, fences, and deskscapes. So fences are this thing, right? So these, I can move these around like this, and it's for organizing your desktop, right? And see, it keeps everything hidden, nice, moved out of the way. Then I don't have a bunch of clutter all over my desktop. It's kind of cool. So and then that's fences, deskscapes. Basically, that moving thing in the background. It's a bunch of different ones, right? Like, oops, let's click this one, and then download or whatever. Let's go to this one. Does this have it? Yeah. So like if I go to the space one here, see, look at that. Check it out. It's all like moving, right? Pretty cool. And then let's see what else. Oh yeah, the Windows blinds, of course. So this blue thing around this and everything is like a theme picker, right? So you can go in. Let's close that real quick, and you can pick different ones. Like let's go with coal. Let's check out coal. Coal 1078. Let's apply the style. Boom, 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 boom. I'm curious what y'all are seeing when it goes into this like freeze apply mode. Seems to have applied okay though, right? So there's my new theme. There's the dialogue here. See, it changed all this. What is this one? Oh, cool. Like I can roll up the window. See, some of them have extra functionality. Like that makes it big, makes it back small. Let's go back to this. And then let's go with this one. I like the ones with the extra. That's cool. The extra little tick button, I guess. What would you call that? Yeah. Oh, Halo 3. Ice. Oh, and then there's this one, Fusion X. Look at the little buttons up here. You can't even tell what they are. You'd have to guess what they are. I don't know about that one. That one doesn't seem so cool. All right, let's see here. All right. Anyway, that's my setup. That's where my desktop. That's why my desktop is so freaking cool. I'm gonna get to configure the spaces. Let's go back to what I had. I like this one. There we go. Bring this back up. But in here, as you can see, so it reskinned this stuff, right? This is my new skin. It skinned this app. Bloop, bloop, do that. But then on this one, it's using this like forced Windows 8, Windows 10 type of desktop thing. Like, what is that? How do you get it to stop doing that? I want all my apps and stuff to look like the same one. See, and this is Edge, right? Microsoft Edge. And it's got these forced buttons up here. I don't like it. But yeah, like, can't we? I guess Spotify has its own thing. No, it's got the weird forced edge too. But you see, I want my theme to show up, but Windows overrides it somehow. It's kind of frustrating. All right, so get out of that. Get out of that. This is where we are with that. Okay, so and I got OBS basically installed, so we accomplished that. But our customized window Chrome. Right. So which one's window Chrome and which one's not window Chrome, and which one, how do I get it to force apply to everything? Because like over in Chrome, see, same thing here, right? Like if I go over to Twitch, I get this shindig. They're going to take it into consideration. All right, whatever. But yeah, I don't get that. That's a little weird. So let's see here. What languages do I program in? I don't program in Perl. Which ones do I use the most? Yeah, that's easier to answer. What do I program in? Primarily these days, I have been writing code in Go, and I have been writing JavaScript nonstop since, I don't know, probably 2003, 2004. Because speaking of the before times, it used to be JavaScript was the most frowned upon thing on earth. Everybody told you to disable it in your browser, and it was the devil. Now it's the way you write everything for the web, basically. I mean, you can even write the server side if you wanted to, right? With Node.js and stuff and whatever other server implements. But yeah, so JavaScript, I'm going to be working a bit more with some of the UI side of things soon too. Some of the demos and stuff that for some Twitch episodes that I got coming up. That's going to be on the Hasura Twitch channel. So if you haven't followed the Hasura HQ Twitch channel, follow the Hasura HQ Twitch channel. It's going to be a bunch of React, GraphQL, stuff like that. A lot of what I do besides languages, though. So just to name the top ones that you asked about. So Go, JavaScript. On and off, I write a fair amount of C#. I've written so much C# over my life. It's like I can't even forget that. It's all just still there planted in the brain. Some Python has come up. So that's been a fairly regular one lately. I actually sat down and made an attempt to learn it over the Christmas holiday last year. I had, however, used Python so many times before, it seemed weird attempting to learn something that I seemed to kind of already know. So what else? I think those are the main ones. I feel like I'm missing something. But I've also written code, and I think I've even done a stream or two in Erlang, in F#. I haven't done C++. Haven't done any streaming stuff in C++ yet, and I haven't done any C++ in freaking forever, years and years and years, if not decades. But those are the most common ones that I use. So Go, JavaScript, and probably C# will come up. Oh, and Java. How can I forget Java? Burp. So that'll come up. PHP, but now cover most languages. That's what happens in DevRel. You just kind of become polyglot, right? I mean, I was very C# focused for a number of years. After I was very, what would I say? C++, COBOL focused. That was my first college gigs. And I'm not actually that old. It's just that I grew up in Mississippi, and Mississippi is that old and was way behind. So we still had COBOL. Yep. Yeah, I think if I have to choose anything though, it's Go and JS these days. I like Python a little bit. It kind of feels like Ruby to me. I did a bunch of Ruby for a while, or I should say I did a couple jobs in Ruby. I have not, yeah, okay. Yeah, I've done PHP. I did PHP 2.0. So back in the day, I had a job for the EPA working with GIS systems and the Naval Research Laboratories at Stennis Space Center in southern Mississippi. Naval Research Laboratories had put together a system called Beowulf. Some of you that know about Linux cluster systems might know about this. It was the first Linux cluster, and they did this because they were about to throw away a whole ton of, like, I think it was 90 megahertz CPU computers because of Y2K. Because they were all going to do whatever the hell they were going to do. So they were going to throw them all away, and they bought a bunch of new computers. And I'd even worked like the years before on the PC Tech gig, replacing those computers. First, they made us replace this chip that was supposed to fix it. And then they were like, well, we just bought new computers anyway. So total weird circle jerk of a government contract, but it's standard, par for the course. But then I did write some PHP when I started working with the Naval Research Lab to make GIS data files available via this like internal web page thing that we had. It was a really weird hodgepodge, and PHP beat the hell out of trying to write CGI bin scripts and stuff, or CGI bin code, whatever you call that stuff. And I had tried to use some classic ASP, but classic ASP was whatever. And we had the Beowulf cluster. So we loaded up PHP and put PHP on that sucker and made available some of the paths to the folders, or the shares, I should say, the shares for that GIS data, which at the time was like 25 megabyte satellite images. And in 2000, 1999, 2000, whatever that was, I guess it was actually, 1999, 25 megabytes was freaking huge for an image. Like you didn't click on it and it opened, right? Like on a machine, any machine nowadays, even like a cheap $300 machine, you click a 25 megabyte image and it's going to open up. Probably take a second or two, but it'll open up, no problem. Then on like, what was it? Dual processor, dual 188 megahertz, some weird thing, because they didn't get the 200 megahertz one. That was the first fastest chips, but they got dual proc machines. And I don't even remember how much memory it had, but these things were like $25,000 a piece. Their sole purpose was to open up these images and then connect them along the edge, right? Because the two images, the maps would map up, but they would have to like sync the edge of those GIS things. And now like systems do that in like 2 seconds and then splice it down to whatever size, and blah, 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 blah. It was pretty cool. Anyway, those are the languages I've used. That was one of the jobs I worked on. So I did do some PHP, but 98, 99, 2000, that was 20 years ago. I don't remember what PHP looks like. And nobody's wanted to pay me to do it since. And I haven't really looked to do PHP. Same thing with COBOL. I just kind of let my COBOL chops die. Partly because I took that off my resume. It's like, nah, I don't really want to do COBOL. Oh, PHP is, I know for a fact, I have looked at some of it since. I just haven't gotten to work with it. But I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this is completely not even remotely the same thing. Yeah, I mean, you can write like object code in it now, or object-oriented programming stuff in it now. Whereas before it was super just like embedded in the HTML hacky stuff. Worked for the time, but it's nice to have options and to be able to do it other ways to organize your code or whatever, make projects a little bit more approachable. Yeah, no, isn't that rad? Got me you can kind of see the label when I turn it around, Ascent Cycles. But yeah, it's just, I'm hiding behind the invisible tree. It makes me invisible. Yeah, so what do y'all use? You use PHP. You've gone polyglot now. How about C-films? How about y'all? Who uses what? You develop your own website. Your own website for you, or your own website for a company? Oh. Look, my eye is going crazy too. You can see the red of my eye. It's not the white of your eye anymore. It's the red of your eye. Oh, your website is a hobby. That's cool. One of my hobby projects right now. Actually, I'll send y'all a link here. This is something that I'm going to be talking about real soon. Call it that. I don't remember what I call it. Dad, burn it. Like right here. I'll just click on it. Yep. Ecosystem. I call it Adrian's ecosystem. There, I brought it up and I wasn't showing y'all. I'm so bad about switching the camera sometimes. Get out of here. I don't want to try a collection. It's busy doing something and it's interrupted me. One of the things that so Linux has a little bit of this now and it kind of drives me nuts. Because like when you install it, well, not Linux, but Ubuntu. You install Ubuntu and you get like the Amazon page and something else and something else and something else. That bugs me. Because I'm like, I don't want ads on my Linux. But here we are. On the Mac, I don't feel like I get that many ads unless I start doing stuff in the App Store. And then certain apps do stuff. But as long as I'm coding, I'm in the terminal, I'm just doing that kind of stuff, I don't get a lot of like cruft apps just popping up. But then on Windows, like I go down here and just stuff that's on the box, like out of box, right? Especially some of the, and I'll admit, yeah, some of it's the default junk from the manufacturer, right? Alienware and Dell. But also just like this stuff is by default on here, like Excel. Is this a full version of Excel? I don't know, web version or whatever. It's not like I bought it. At least I don't think I bought it. I didn't mean to buy it if I did. But like, there's just all this stuff and different things come up and like what's this? I feel like there's a million advertisements hiding in every corner. I click on something and some ad comes up for some arbitrary whatever. It's almost like Windows has become an ad platform itself. Like, is that other thing even going to open? I don't know. It's one of my gripes. I think Windows should clean that up. So anyway, there's the ecosystem. If you go to that project, it's using Hasura and GraphQL, and I'm going to be building out some other stuff on top of that. On that note, since it is top of the hour, and I've gotten off in the weeds, but I want to tell all of you about a few things. And then also, let's see, how can we raid? So I'm using Streamyard, right? Which it's a cool tool, but it definitely has some limitations. Like here's where everybody is, right? Pretty cool. Click on this, boom, see? And stuff comes up on stream. But anyway, this is up here, but like how do can I do raid? Let's do, who's online? Let's pick somebody to raid. This is gonna be the outro. So we got, oh, Microsoft developers doing something. I develop things. Oh my God, I develop things is still writing code. He was writing code when I was up at like 8 a.m. today. Oh, I shouldn't have done it. It's gonna play the stupid ad again. These things. So yeah, who should I raid? Anthony writes code. Sledgy, I develop things. Got a suggestion for me? Because we'll raid them. Raid thrashing code. Can I do that? Thrashing code. Let's see if the message even does anything. So I just sent that to chat, as you can see here, right? Did I crash it? Wait, let's try again. Let's try. Try somebody else. We're gonna raid. Oh, let's raid Code Phobia. Yeah, he's on doing some coding. Code Phobia. And let's see if that comes up. Yeah, it does not like this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into here. Let's go in my dashboard. And then I'll type it here, right? Raid Code Phobia. You already have a raid in progress? Oh, did it start doing it? No, it's just being crazy. So anyway, on this thing, I'm going to end the broadcast in a second, but we're going to raid right now. So we're going to raid Code Phobia. Raid now. So everybody, thanks for joining me. Thanks for the raid. Bald bearder coder, code builder. Oh, I can't even say your name at all now. Anyway, everybody have a good one. Enjoy your Wednesday. Kick some ass, thrash some code, and I will catch you on the next episode, which will include code, not just me rambling. So on that note, cheerio all.